Roshan Recurring Experiment 9 Web Technology Lab. Here we are asked to create a login sign up scenario. We're supposed to provide two input fields, and based on the entry of the user on the username, we have to say if the username already exists in the database or not. So let's look at the code. First, inside a form, I provided two input fields with a name. Username has a name and password has a name pass. So once the focus from this input field, the username input field changes, that is when on blur occurs, you invoke the function check user. So in check user, as an argument, you pass the value entered inside the username input field. So for any Ajax function or Ajax communication, you need an object of XML HTTP request class. So first you create a object of that particular class, then you open a connection. To open a connection, you need to say what kind of connection here it is. Here I'm using get connection, and to which page are you communicating with. So here I'm communicating with page 2.php, and I also need to say what kind of connection it is, like if it's synchronous or asynchronous. Since it's asynchronous, I give the value is true. Then you call the send function. Now once a send function is pressed, the control transfers to the PHP code. So this is the PHP code. I have already constructed database using XAMPP in my system, and this is the PHP database I have, and this is the name of the database, the users, and student is the name of the table, and it has two columns, name and password, and these are the entries on it. Now in here, first I need to say what am I getting, like the input. So using the $_get global variable, I get the information or the value from the input field with the name attribute as name. So once I get the value from it, I make a connection. So I use a MySQLi connect function to establish a connection. I need to provide the host name. Here is localhost, username, here's root, and the password. There's no password, so it's null or an empty string. Then the database which I'm trying to connect to. So once a connection is established, you see if the input was empty or not. If it's not empty, you move forward to creating a SQL query to check if such a if you find any student with a similar username as a user entered for sign up. Now you execute the query using MySQLi query function. It takes two arguments. One is the variable used for connection establishment, another one is the SQL query, and the result set will be inside the variable result. So here inside a loop, since it's using the function MySQL fetch arrays, in most cases a select statement returns a set. So we use a MySQL fetch array function to get information from the result set. So here we'll only have one result, so we fetch it using the MySQL fetch arrays, and we store that in a variable $a, and we attach it to another variable $hint. Now we see if it is empty or not. If the $hint was empty, that is we first initialize it as empty. So if this condition satisfies, that means there is some username in it which is matching to the username entered by the new user, so the value of hint changes. So if it is null, we say the username does not exist. If it's not an empty string, we say a username, that particular username already exists. So if we let's try it out. So this is the username. First I try my name. So I already have an entry of my name in the database. Once I change using a tab or something, it displays me that username Roshan already exists, because if you look inside the database here, there is a username like that. So let's try another name. Here it says username does not exist because I don't have an entry or a name inside my data, inside my table, which is equal to Amit, which I entered here. So it says username does not exist. That is all. Thank you.